and gentlemen, I present to you Life's Milkshake Moment with health coach Joe D.
Hey there, I'm Dr. Jody Bear, America's top foundational health coach, a certified health coach and holistic new trainer who absolutely is committed to you on this Healthopedia network in transitions in your life and foundations of health, living, and hope in all 6 pillars of your life: spiritual, physical, emotional, social, mental, and financial. And today is living proof. After what we've seen, this tragic loss of life and tragic storm of Hurricane Ian in central where I live and southeast Florida, we need spirituality. We need hope. We need this emotional pillar. And that's what we're going to be talking about here tonight. The context of Life's Milkshake Moment is life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely. And when you do, life will be oh so sweet. I am honored as a pioneer in health coaching and healing arts of over 42 years to say that my client base has lost over 42 pounds of toxic fat and has kept it off. And recently in the COVID era, we have over 3,000 people that have come through my life and have gone out with health restored, health renewed, health reset, health for life. Why? I don't make any medical claims. I don't make any miracle cures, but the body put in the right condition can and will heal itself. You see, the one key ingredient in weight loss, the real key ingredient in health reclaimed, the next pounds, the next condition can be renewed and restored, and it can be yours. So transformation is an inside job. In these 6 pillars tonight, this stellar example of my esteemed guest, spirituality and emotionally. You see, I know those very well. Dr. Joe D. Well, I was a brown-eyed, ponytailed, brown-haired girl from Laurel, Montana. But the one thing I found out when I was 5, I could sing. I could sing. I could sing. And sing I did. I lifted my mother, a young widow, then at 39 years of age, and lifted her out of her depression. I gave her hope. Then she gave me hope because she gave me music and singing and piano and French horn lessons with money as a widow woman she could ill afford. But I take my talents then, and I took them seriously now. Both of those ways. And frankly, on my way, I was in my 20s. I had just been commissioned to the New York City Opera Company. I was traveling all over the world in North America, classically singing. Ever have one of those times it just hits you out of the blue? You're going to hear about one of those times tonight and how it was turned around for good. Well, I had something that hit me out of the blue. I was ready to go and sing with the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra. Out of the blue, I was broadsided. My next waking moment, I was face down in a surgical halo, paralyzed from the shoulders on down. What was I to do? You see, that mother of mine came to the hospital the next day, and she said these words to you. And I want you to get as well. If you're struggling out there, if you hear and you want hope, this is what my mother told me. She said, Jody, the doctors only see what they see. They don't know who you are. So who are you in those times of trial? Who are you when you reach down into those times and you bring up your hope? Because the good news is, I didn't stay in that halo, as you can see. I left that hospital bed on my own. I walked out of that hospital and I've been running ever since because the body put in the right condition can and will heal itself. I am living proof. Just like the emphasis on tonight's show, I'm called just absolutely just called to say this woman is my friend, the acclaimed balance doctor, and her show, The Kim Jacobs Show. I found my calling. I found my calling then when it just kept tapping on my shoulder. Like Sabrina Brown Travis said, if you have someone that is asking you something over and over again, maybe it is your calling. So listen to it because you will be equipped in this life. Then, as a young mother, I found myself expecting, went to a La Leche League meeting for prenatal health, and I started giving them health coaching and nutritional counseling. Then that same mother of mine, I was able to give her hope when she called me. I had one that was in diapers and one that had just been born, and I was just finishing up my dishes. Ring, ring, ring. I put down the towel in my kitchen. I grabbed the phone. Yes, Mom. What is it, Mom? Are you okay? She said, Jody, no, I'm not. I've just come from the doctor. What did the doctor say, Mom? They says I have 6 weeks to live. And I fell down to my knees and I rolled that toilet paper roll off until there was no more roll. And I knew I brought myself up in my own hope. I knew that I could give my mother hope, the hope that she'd given me. Flew off with those two babies, and in the little Laurel, Montana library, I found books, age-old protocols from Edgar Casey. I blew off the dust and I hightailed to the checkout counter. Those protocols gave my mother length of life. We celebrated at week 7 and we celebrated at year 3, gave her way length of life, way beyond that 6 weeks to live diagnosis. But as she was transitioning from this world, she said to me, Jody, give others hope the way you've given me. And this is what Life's Milkshake Moment is all about, giving and receiving hope. You see, my personal quote is, you take care of yourself first, and then the world around you is empowered forever. With 100% passion and focused emotion, we can do anything. You see, my esteemed, and I'm going to call her a celebrity because we're celebrating Kim Jacobs tonight. She is living proof of it's not what happens to you in life, it's how you respond. This is what turns a champion in with that focused emotion. As Helen Keller says, I will not be captured in and held captive to my emotion, but with focused emotion and 100% passion, I will do what I was meant to do. See, Kim epitomizes this in her life. This is why I call her a celebrity. We're celebrating you, Kim, because she, in the short time I've known her, she just has accomplished so much as a mother. She has done so much as being in the pastoring church of it just life and leadership. She has done so much. But what Kim Jacobs has done, she's given others hope. I can say that hope to me stands to go down into yourself, to heal you. No one knows you like you do. Then to go up in opportunity to your true north, and then come in that positivity, in that law of attraction to attract what you and who you were meant to be, and then go out in empowerment to change the world. The iconic Les Brown says, it is possible to open up the keys to a whole new future. All you need to know is that it's possible, I'm possible, and you're possible too. Just take my hand. Let's go in this journey on Life's Milkshake Moment, because life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely, and when you do, your life will be oh so sweet. So let's take a look before I bring up and introduce in just an amazing way that she so deserves, Kim Jacobs. Let's go and take a look, take a listen at one of our corporate sponsors, which is Ignite Publishing. Take a look, take a listen. It is possible.
Ignite possibilities. It's the idea that anything is possible. In fact, anything and everything is absolutely possible. We just need to start believing in that. There's a lot of conversations going on the planet, and one of them needs to be about possibilities. We need to inspire and ignite possibilities in all of our minds once again to believe that things are possible. We can change the planet when we step into the idea that what is possible is absolutely possible, and we can go after that. We can do that. We can dream more. We can aspire for more. We can have more. We can include more. We can create more. We just have to believe it. Start doing it. Working in that direction. Having that conversation. Understanding that what's possible is truly impossible in each of us. Igniting possibilities. That's the idea. That's what we need to start talking about. Ignite possibilities in me, in you, in everyone, in humanity. When we raise ourselves up, we raise each other up, and when we start going after what's possible in our own lives, we give permission for everyone, every single person on the planet to go after what's possible for them. Ignite possibilities. Ignite a possibility in you, ignite possibilities in someone else, and we can change the world.
We are igniting possibilities in everything we're doing right here, right now, and especially with my esteemed guest. I want you to know that you can go to my Cash App to partner with Healthopedia Network because these programs take money and we're putting it in the right way. But tonight on this show and for the entire week, I want you to know that we are giving this money to Gabe'sHeartFoundation.org. Gabe'sHeartFoundation.org. You will be hearing about this in the program in just a minute. You can go to $Bear Money or PayPal.me/Health Coach Jody, or go directly to Gabe'sFoundation.org and give a little, give a lot, give from your heart because it will create hope. And speaking of our special guest who has been training with the Les Brown for so long, I pulled up this quote that says, speak truth, speak life, live life from the hunger of your heart. As Les Brown goes on, when you live and fill your heart with what you hunger for, your mind will find a way to achieve your desires. You see, that's what Kim Jacobs has done. She has done this with such flair and such style, the small time that I've known her for the last 6 months. But she's known by all. She's affectionately known as the Balanced Doctor. She's experienced many challenges in her life. Boy, howdy. But they've given her the ability to help others to go well beyond her circumstances. She brings balance. She brings the world balance, one household at a time, as she says on the Kim Jacobs Show. She is a mother of 5, an international motivational speaker, talk show host, and entrepreneur. Kim Jacobs is the managing director in Charlotte of the eWomen Network. She also is a certified seminar speaker through the Les Brown Speakers Network. Kim has been an on-air personality for 13 years, the Telly Award-winning talk show host for PBS Award Network, the Word Network. I'm sure that deals with her spiritual pillar, 3 seasons, and her latest project is hosting the Kim Jacobs Show on YouTube, Facebook, and 8 social media platforms. I am honored to be her guest from time to time on Freestyle Fridays as her health expert. Kim also is an author of Extreme Balance Makeovers, contributing author of Women of War, Peace in the Midst of the Storm. And this is how I fight my battles. Her awards would take almost the entire program to talk through, but she is a Woman of Excellence Award from Radio 1, the Woman of Worth Award, Every Girl Wins Institute. I love that. Not only that is a mother of 5, but she's got some fur people too. She is the CEO and founder of Gabe's Guardian Heart Foundation, and it is with great honor and privilege to celebrate you on life's milkshake moment. Welcome, Kim Jacobs.
Oh my goodness, Dr. Jody Bear, to hear your story was nothing short of amazing. I was like, am I watching a Lifetime movie? Your story is a movie, just so you know. It's a milkshake moment of movies coming together. Wow.
And we have come together in this moment, and thank you for that. I guess we're all so busy in work, Kim, that maybe you didn't know my story. Isn't that wonderful? Our life is made of stories. And at the Balance Doctor, I'm telling you, I typed with all of your social media handles. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'll have them all up there. Just take a screenshot, take a listen. But I know that you were called from the time you were 18 when you received your salvation. You have been a daughter of a pastor, an elder. You've been in church leadership. Let's just unpack Kim Jacobs' story a little bit, shall we?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Jody Bear. And you know what? My story starts back, like you talked about that little town. My story starts back at Newport News, Virginia. I grew up in the inner city area of Newport News in a place that was called The Bottom. The locals called it The Bottom, and had grocery stores around me called Below. So living at The Bottom and shopping at Below was just really a interesting situation, because conditioning and environmental conditioning could automatically make you lose hope. But I had a mom like you, a mom that made me believe as a single mom that I could be anything that I put my heart to, that I put my mind to. And she really helped me become a part of pageants and events and everything. I was a cheerleader, I was senior class president, you name it. I was always actively involved because my mom made sure that that happened. And so growing up, I never really realized that I was poor. I thought, I just thought I had a great life, even though I lived in the inner city, and all of us as neighbors, we were really close knit, and friends and family would look out for each other. We'd borrow sugar and stuff like that. But life for the most part, I thought was pretty good for me. I didn't realize that until later on, that I was like, oh, I lived at The Bottom. I shopped at Below, where my neighbors up the highway shopped at Farm Fresh and Giant Eagle and Freshy Fresh. I was like, well, what is this? So it's an
Well,
interesting time frame.
and interesting because your mother gave you hope and you
Yeah.
thought that anything was possible. So let's go to this Kim Jacobs. Now she is just, you really are, Kim. You just have an amazing ability to not only give a personal touch to people, you are a born leader. If there's ever a born leader, you really are. You have that gift. Obviously, a mother of five, you've had to be CEO of a lot of things. But tell us about, as our mutual connection and how I met you being part of the inner circle with Les Brown. Tell us about meeting the legendary Les Brown. I think there's probably a really good story up in
Oh
here.
yeah, I don't think I've ever told you this story, but I was actually working in the pharmaceutical sales industry, and I had been working in the industry. I was actually relatively new when he came to speak. I was in my early 20s, and he came to speak at one of our national conferences, and I was like, man, that man knows how to tell a great story. Now he knows how to motivate people, and he wouldn't say a bunch of ums and ahs, but he just got to the point, and he made it a punchline with a lot of enthusiasm and took us on an emotional roller coaster. And I'm in corporate America, so I'm thinking, man, I want to know what he does and how he does this. So after he finished speaking, I went up to him and told him, listen, I actually want to be a talk show host, but I know that part of talking on television or anything is going to require some public speaking, how to tell my story. And do you know, my husband at the time, he let me hop in the car, because he was also in pharmaceuticals working at the same company. He let me hop in the car with Les Brown, and I spent the entire day learning and gleaning from Les Brown. He had an entourage around him, so I just squeezed in the car too, and just went on and learned from him. I took notes upon notes upon notes all day long. And after that, I was like, we're connected for life. So I knew that I was going to always be able to learn from him and also be able to help him in whatever ways he needed. And we started traveling the country teaching people how to start in the seminar business, how to make money telling your story. And so that's what our story consisted of.
Well, and Les Brown knows how to pick talent. There you go, Kim Jacobs. The girl from the bottom has gone straight, or the low country has gone straight to the top. And I know branding of this Balanced Doctor. I love this, as I've got Balanced Doctor here, and I know that you can reach out on social media at the Balanced Doctor. How did that come about? How did you find that amazing brand, Mother of
Yeah.
Five?
Well, actually, I was with one of my girlfriends. We were out to lunch and we always brainstorm. So you have to have some good friends, Dr. Jody, that you can just say, okay, like bring your notebook. Let's just have a brainstorming session. So we schedule appointment times. Her name is Sean, and we schedule appointment times just to do some brainstorming. And she was like, Kim, there is always like the MD, there is the PhD, but there's no BD. I said, well, what the world? What is the BD? And she said, Kim, you wear so many different hats. You own your own business. You're a nonprofit founder. And at the time, I was working with multiple nonprofits, and some had yielded over $4 or $5 million in earnings. And she was like, listen, you wear a lot of hats. You help a lot of people. People come to you and ask you for advice all the time. You're in ministry as a leader. I think you should be the Balanced Doctor. So now I was like, girl, that is incredible. So I ended up becoming the Balanced Doctor.
And you can find Kim on the balancedoctor.tv, and you can find us on Freestyle Fridays on this Kim Jacobs show. Now let's move to how you found your focus. I'm sure that Les Brown had a bit to do with your focus on this Balanced Doctor, helping women wear those hats well, ministering them, motivating them as a motivational speaker. And this eWomen's Network is a movement unlike any other. So please share.
Yes, for me, you know what? It actually, again, goes back to some of my younger years. I used to mute the television, Dr. Jody, and I would read closed captioning whenever Oprah and Phil Donahue would come on, because I really wanted to be in the talk show world. Never knew that for real, it would end up taking me to where I am today. So when it comes to being able to lead women and help advise women and be there, it's because I am one of those women. I've been through so many different trials and tribulations in my own personal life. And I want women to know that no matter how difficult the situation, no matter how bleak the circumstances are, things that are put upon us by force, some that are by choice, but at the end of the day, God knows exactly what circumstances and season we would be in our lives. So I really want women to be inspired to know that you can look at my life as an example of, yes, I've had a lot of lows, but I've also had a lot of highs. And if you go with me on this journey, we're going to make it to the other side together. And you'll have someone to look at to say, if she can do it, I can do it. And that's important to me.
Absolutely. And if you can do it, I can do it, and we can do it together. And Kim
Yes.
does it, by the way, on the Kim Jacobs show. And we will get into this in a minute, but I just want to say to our viewing audience that Kim is live Monday through Friday. I mean, that in of itself, did you just decide you were going to have an episode for each of your 5 kids? I mean, Monday through Friday. Let me tell you, it's a big deal. But I can tell you what is even a bigger deal is what you have done with your foundation. And rather than take a commercial break right now here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring up the slide of what just happened last Saturday. And then we're going to go pack the story. But I want you to get into the success of what happened with that 5K run on the 24th of September. Please share with us.
Absolutely. With Gabe's Heart Foundation, we started Gabe's Heart Foundation in honor of my son that transitioned from this earth. He was 12 years old when he passed away, and I had no idea, Dr. Jody, that he had a heart defect. And so I encourage people that are watching today to know that no matter what sports physical your child may have had, it does not matter. That's nice that they have that. But the only way to truly detect a defect that can lead to sudden cardiac arrest in young children is to get an ultrasound of your child's heart. So I encourage people to get an ultrasound to determine if there are any kind of defects in your child's heart. And we didn't know. So the first sign for us was when my son transitioned from this earth. And that should never be the case, obviously.
No.
But with my faith and hope and knowing that I had to still be here for my children, my remaining 4 children here on this earth, I just it just took only God that can allow me to have enough strength to keep moving forward, because I really wanted to give my heart for Gabe to be able to live. And I asked the doctor, could that be the case? And they thought I was absolutely insane. So we started Gabe's Heart, and we do this 5K walk every year in honor of him. And it's to raise awareness of sudden cardiac arrest. It's to raise awareness of anti-bullying, because Gabe stood against bullying when he was here on this earth. And so we always raise awareness of anti-bullying as well. And this is the 7th annual 5K walk that just happened on September 24th. And so we raised the funds to be able to get random acts of kindness provided, called Doing It Gabe's Way. We do random acts of kindness with the proceeds that people donate. And we go out into the community. We do gas, we do groceries, we do uniforms, events, pay down lunch bills, you name it. We're out there doing it Gabe's way.
And Saturday was the 24th. They did it virtually. They did it locally. And we're going to keep that banner rolling, Kim, on the bottom. So if you want to do anything whatsoever, I just want to make real sure that our audience knows that this money for this week in this random acts of kindness, anything we collect for this week on our 3 TV shows and my radio show, $Bear Money Cash App, you go to paypal.me/Health Coach Jody. You know that you see it all the time. It will be going straight back to Gabe's Heart Foundation.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Jody Bear.
Because it's just the way we do things. We pay it forward. And you can go directly to Gabe's Heart Foundation.org. I can tell you, Kim is precise, like she is with those children and everything she does. That balance, doctor, that balance sheet is for real. So I would really like, you told the backstory of Gabe. I love the fact that he never spent a night away from home until he was with his Heavenly Father. But I love the story about he just was a guardian of hope with the autism, with this bullying, just to show that it's not the length of your life, it's the life in your years. That's Gabe.
Right. For 12 years, first of all, Gabe was named after Gabriel Michael. So he was named after 2 angels. We had no idea that he would really walk this earth in this giant angelic form. He was way above average in his height at the age of 12 years old. So 12, he was already 5'10", Dr. Jody. And so he stood taller than me, and he was, pretty big guy. So nobody messed with Gabe, okay? But he also didn't mess with people. He didn't mess with anybody. He just loved everyone, and he wanted everyone to know that they were special, that they were somebody. So he treated each person like they were his best friend. And in school, like I think I may have even shared with you before, that one child in particular, and I did not find this out until after Gabe passed away, that he was deaf, and he came and transitioned to Gabe's middle school, and nobody would communicate with him, like talking about it, because they didn't know how to. Gabe self-taught himself sign language. And I would see him doing it, but I didn't know what, I thought it was just a project. He did that so that he could welcome the young boy to the school. And the young man, his name is Brandon, he actually went on the book, to sign the guest book, to say, your son self-taught himself sign language to welcome me when no one really made me feel that comfortable. And I just was like, oh, that's Gabe, Guardian Gabe. They called him Guardian Gabe at his school because he served as the anti-bullying mediator. So he would have those that were doing the bullying and those that were being bullied. He would help merge their relationships, Dr. Jody. Yeah.
just such a tribute, and
Yeah.
how you're keeping this going. Now, I know you said how many people came to his homegoing?
Oh, there were well over 1,000. I don't, you know what? I had a big floppy hat. I really, I never went back to look at the homegoing celebration footage because it's just a lot. And
Sure.
I don't wish any parent to have to experience the death of their child and they then have to go on in life. I just would never, I really don't wish that for anybody.
No.
But it was about over 1,000 or so people, and like it was just packed to capacity, and over 100 young people accepted Christ as their personal savior at the homegoing celebration of life for Gabriel. And every person that wrote a card, Dr. Jody Bear, they said, "Hi, I'm such and such. I'm Gabe's best friend." Every single person said, "I'm Gabe's best friend." I was like, this can't be. But every person felt like he was his best friend.
And Kim, he got that from you. You have a way of making people feel like they are the most important person in that arena. You really do have that amazing ability. And then that's why we're celebrating you. Sorry, dear, we're celebrating you because of who you are. You are so real. I say the real stands for in relationship with enthusiasm that comes only from our creator with attitude and love. You are real. And you took that grief because some people, and that's fine, but they stay on that other side of grief. That is that emotional pillar. You went 2 days, and when we had that clubhouse fundraiser, I
Yes.
that was amazing. I'm going,
Please,
she
please let me say a thank you to
oh,
Jay Nolan, to Mrs. Nolan, his mom and his wife, Mrs. Nolan, the wife, and to Melanie and to you, Dr. Jody. You're talking about collecting money. You've already given money, and all of you all on the clubhouse that supported, everybody that's contributed already to Gabe's Heart Foundation. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I cannot thank you all enough.
that was pretty cool. We had over 500 people that came through the room in a couple of hours. So
Yeah.
that's spreading that word and spreading that mission that's now up in Canada around because and I'm going to just pull in what our mutual icon Les Brown would say. What we need is a collaboration of achievement driven,
Yeah.
like-minded, heart-centered
That's right.
leaders. That's you.
That's
That's
right.
what I strive to be. And that's what you did. You went over and said, I am going to create a foundation. Y'all, I want you to get this. That's why we're celebrating Kim and who she is 2 days later. My goodness gracious. So, how has the foundation since then evolved to now what we saw with the 24th of September? Tell us how this has evolved for 7 years, please.
This foundation has literally allowed Gabe's heart to just keep beating. That's one of our slogans, just keep beating. And it's not just about beating only in heart defects or sudden cardiac arrest, but some people may be just beating diabetes or just beating cancer or just beating domestic violence. It's all kinds of things that people are really trying to just keep beating in their lives. And Gabe's heart is continuing to just keep beating through the lives of so many people throughout the world. His touch has been so far reaching. And even though we call the random acts of kindness doing it Gabe's way, when we go to the nursing home and we give every person in there something that maybe just a nice little picker up or gift, it could be socks or a game or anything. We go in and we do it Gabe's way, but really we're doing it God's way, So we're
Sure.
doing it Gabe's way because Gabe is a vessel that God had used on this earth to be able to just spread joy, love, and happiness. We also honor people that are unsung heroes that have a heart similar to Gabe's. And whatever we find that they're doing in the community, we reward them with a Gabe's Big Heart Award at a gala that we have as well. So it's fun. It's a fun way to keep Gabe's heart beating and to keep his legacy of love and anti-bullying alive so that other people know the importance of just caring about everybody else, not just about ourselves, but putting ourselves aside and caring for other people.
And that's what you do in these random acts of kindness. How can people get involved with Gabe's Heart Foundation? Myself, down in Florida, you don't have to necessarily be in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
This has become a global movement, but how can people get involved?
People can get involved by actually spreading the word that Gabe's Heart is beating around the world. And you can have your own weeks of random acts of kindness called Doing It Gabe's Way. We have cards where we can have cards created where we give to people when we're serving them with the random act of kindness. And it says, you've just been served with a Doing It Gabe's Way random act of kindness. So people can go to gabesheartfoundation.org and they can donate, partner with us, and those funds go to help do random acts of kindness. We go to domestic violence shelters and we'll go to homeless shelters. We provide meals, you name it. We're literally taking funds and going back and pouring into the community. So people can walk at our upcoming next annual event, our 8th annual event. So you can already prepare yourself. It's the 4th Saturday in September 2023. So the 4th Saturday in September 2023, prepare yourself to walk. You can also nominate people for a Gabe's Big Heart Award. And you can also do random acts of kindness, carved out weeks that you let us know that you're doing it Gabe's way, and we'll push it out to the community that is happening in your community.
Well, and what a beautiful way that we just work together and talk about working together. That is you. I mean, Kim, you're saying, how can I work with this Kim Jacobs? Because I really do feel special, but you have room for more special people. KimJacobsConsulting.com. If you have what I want to say is just a desire in your heart, a vision, you have an amazing program where you take people from zero to live. And so, just in our last few minutes, please share what that looks like. Kim Jacobs Consulting, to just take it from nothing to everything. And then we'll go to the Kim Jacobs Show. But I would love to know about Kim Jacobs Consulting.
Absolutely. With Kim Jacobs Consulting, Dr. Jody, I've had the show I said on PBS and on the Word Network. I filmed at the old Jim and Tammy Faye Baker studio, Praise the Lord studio. I've also been on a local NBC affiliate where I've gone out and did balance makeovers for family. So I've done this for a living for quite some time. And so what I do with Kim Jacobs Consulting is a training course for 6 weeks where I work with you one-on-one to be able to start your own show from scratch. Everything that I can think to pour into you, I pour it into you 1 hour per week for 6 weeks. And at the end of it all, you actually own your own content. So I'm simply coaching you to create a show. And at the end, you're going to be able to go live with your own talk show, podcast, whatever you want to call it. Different people want to know what's the difference. I train you in a way that it's actually a video podcast, a talk show in case you want to share it with the network, and an audio podcast. So you're getting the whole scope of how to create your own show from scratch. And because you're here on Dr. Jody Baer's program, I'm giving you 20% if you decide that you would like to take my training course. And then you mentioned Dr. Jody Baer.
How generous. And this is Kim's YouTube.com. This is the Kim Jacobs Show. Like I said, you kept me kind of busy with all these banners, girl. I mean,
I was typing them over there in case you need it.
Yes, and so what I'm going to say, the Kim Jacobs Show on everywhere. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. Kim Jacobs. It's on from time to time. It is on.
It's on CTR Media Network. That's where we're streaming right now. And we're also streaming on about 8 or 9 other platforms. But CTR Media Network streams in over 350 million households worldwide. And we're one of the programs. Actually, we were one of the top 10 podcasts this past month. Yes.
Well, I'm not surprised because you just have a way. And the Kim Jacobs Show, as I said, Monday through Friday, 11 to noon Eastern time. And Kim, I can truthfully say, you're the kind of guest. I think that, you know how they say down south, we could be finished, but we'll never be through.
Okay.
I mean, we would be finished, but we'll never be through because there's so much in there. And so just check her out, ladies and gentlemen. Just check her out. The multi-faceted, faceted, balanced doctor. Maybe that's a new word, balance. Yes.
Balance.
Multi-faceted, balanced doctor. Faceted, balanced.
I have a question, Dr. Jody. Can I say anything about eWomen Network right quick? Because I do want to acknowledge
Yes. Let's go back to that. That is just such an amazing thing. Let's go back. We've got some time. Let's go back to eWomen Network. Let's do that.
Well, I've been a part of eWomen Network for about 15 years, and I've watched some pretty amazing managing directors come throughout Charlotte, and I've learned so much from them. But the founder, Sandra Yancey, she has a program where 1 million women earn $1 million in annual income. It's the whole focus by giving first and sharing always. So it's a whole group of 118 chapters of women entrepreneurs that pour into each other's businesses to say, how can we help your business go to the next level? And guess what? They appointed me as the managing director in Charlotte, North Carolina. So if you visit ewomennetwork.com/Charlotte, that's me now as the managing director. And you are welcome to join and put me, Kim Jacobs, as your sponsor, and I'll connect you with your local managing director. So it'd be an honor for me to connect you to the correct managing director for you.
That was her name, Sandra.
Sandra Yancey is the founder, and she also works alongside with her husband, Kim Yancey, who heavily believes in eWomen Network, and their daughter, Brianna Day. So it's an incredible organization based out of Dallas, Texas, and I am honored to be a managing director in the Charlotte, North Carolina area now.
And Kim, that Sandra was one smart woman appointing you.
Oh, no, not because of me, but just because she's one smart woman. Now, that was a trick. That was a setup. She's one smart woman. And I'm like, yes, she is, for appointing you. Okay.
Yes, for appointing you. So I want to put this up one more time to receive your 20% off on your training to start your own show, because we need each other. We need each other because what you have, Kim, and what I have coming together. That's why it was such a joy to do that the week coming into Gabe's 5K run. It was such a joy to do this. And that's what we do. And you can go ahead, just mention Dr. Jody Bear. Please do remember me on Monday and Thursday on Traverse TV, but then put KimJacobsConsulting.com, reach out to Kim. So here we have Kim, the woman who lived in the low country, absolutely came to the high country with Les Brown and your gifts that are many. You came to have these beautiful 5 children. You've learned how to be, it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond. You become a consultant, a TV, radio, talk, everything, a person, and a balanced doctor, as you were saying. Well, we've got an hour because I've got to go do some fun things with my kids. I'm telling you, Kim, you are a one of a kind. It is a pleasure and an honor to know you. But I would absolutely love you to just keep on beating with Gabe's heartfoundation.org. Just give us your one last word of wisdom, please.
Well, my one last word of wisdom is that, well, I'm going to actually not be selfish for myself. I'm going to share it about my son. I have one son that lost 100 pounds recently, and you know about him, and his name is Ivan Jacobs, and he has cystic fibrosis. So I have 3 children that live with cystic fibrosis as well. And but you, Dr. Jody, and lots of other people have been giving great tips and words of wisdom to help get all of that mucus up out of their system. And most importantly, God got them. But he's actually doing a training program where he's taking 10 new clients to help them with their weight loss journey. So I would love for people to email him at ivanjacobsfit@gmail.com. ivanjacobsfit@gmail.com, because I love supporting my children on their journey called life. And I didn't say anything about all of my kids. I have 5 amazing kids. Gabe is one of them, and he'll always be my son. But my remaining 4 children are nothing short of miraculously amazing. I have Frank Jr., he's at UNC Chapel Hill. Ivan is at UNC Charlotte, and he's the one that's doing the fitness program. I have Jeremiah, and he is a lifeguard and 17 in homeschool. And I have Jayla, And Jayla is at a charter school in town, and she's also working at Chick-fil-A at the age of 14. And she's a gardener and animator. So my family means a whole lot to me. And my mom is still with me today, and I'm honored that she has been alongside me. She uprooted her life when Gabe passed away and came and helped our family. So thank you.
What a beautiful thing. I think that Jayla's a volleyball player, isn't she too?
Yes, she no longer is on the volleyball team, but it's okay. She made some decisions about that because in talk about stress and certain things, she's not doing that. She said, "Mom, no, I'm not going to be able to balance all of these things that I have on my plate." And at 14, you don't need any additional stress when you have cystic fibrosis, sweetie. We will figure it out and remove what needs to be removed for you to have the best balanced life possible. But
And
in the midst of life, I want everybody to know that
yes.
you can balance this thing in life. Even if it looks out of balance, you're just in a season in your life. So don't get discouraged on your journey just because a season makes it look like you're out of sync or out of balance, because God knew that season that you would be in at that moment.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He knew that season before we were ever made, and he knew how to get us out of that season. And you make sure you tell that because you don't these kids they don't call, they don't do that kind of thing. But you make sure that you tell that Ivan to look up health coach Jody, and I'll give him a spot on the Healthopedia so we can be watching him do that with these 10 clients. Wouldn't that be a fun thing to do?
That would be awesome. Yes, I will tell him for sure.
You know, why not? Why not? And why not you? Why not us? And why not make the most of the gifts you've been given? Kim Jacobs, it is an honor to know you. It is an honor to go on this journey with you. There are people in your life that you know come in for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. I'm picking C with you. Thank you, Kim,
Aw.
for being on Life's Milkshake Moments. You truly have put a cherry on the top of that nutritional milkshake.
You're the cherry on the top, Dr. Jody Bear. You are the cherry on the top. You're a blessing from God. And I love
So
you.
thank you so much. Thank you. And don't forget, Random Acts of Kindness continue. Random Acts of Kindness continue. And Gabe's Heart Foundation.org. Bye-bye for now, Kim. See you Friday.
Take care.
So we're going to go to our next commercial break with none other than our Foundations of Health, our project with Ignite Publishing. Get that QR code right now, and let's go ahead and be a part of changing health. Let's change that focus to make an impact in the world, one health story at a time. Just say yes. Say yes to ignite your foundations of health. You saw that I am just honored to be a part of this limited edition, this limited time where we are going to make a difference. It is Foundations of Health.igniteyou.life. I am the marquee project coordinator with Ignite Publication to bring in people with influence to tell their health story, people that are practitioners such as myself, famous doctors. We're coming together. So our deadline and our start date, well, It's one and the same. October 21st, we're getting this going. If you want to be a part, then reach out to me at healthcoachjod.com. That's healthcoachjod.com. And we will get you started on you making a difference with reclaiming your story of health in a 6-pillar relationship: spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, and financially. Now, stay tuned. I've got an announcement to make. Many of you know that Hurricane Ivan just eviscerated Florida this past week. Thankfully, we just took water, lost a few trees, cleaned things up. But this is going to go on, ladies and gentlemen, for years. 90% of Fort Myers, Florida is gone. The water is still rising in Orlando. It's really, really something of epic. 100-year storm is what they're calling it. Well, I'm grateful and honored to say that Healthopedia and our channel and our shows have been picked up by local affiliate CBS Channel 11 in Orlando. And what I just beginning to do is putting this together to create hope for these victims. It will be October 22nd, October 23rd, Saturday and Sunday from noon to noon. It will also be live streamed through Traverse TV. You can go to watch.traversetv.com at any single time. And we're calling it a TV-a-thon, where we're going to raise money, and the proceeds, I guarantee you, from my heart to yours, they are going straight to Hurricane Ivan victims. I have over 100 clients in that Southwest Florida area. I have one client that had 5 homes, one of which she lived in, and they're all gone. They need help. They need hope. Please mark your calendar and know that we're doing this additional random act of kindness because we will make a difference. So if you're looking to get a hold of me, it's always drjod.com, old school 800-820-0854. That's 800-820-0854. And at Health Coach Jody on all my social media handles, of course, as I put it up for Ivan, because they just love these social media handles. You can always hear me on buildingfortunesradio.com. My syndicated radio show is Sundays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be doing several other radio shows this week to get people prepared for everything that we're going to do for Hurricane Ivan. On Mondays, you hear Mindset Mondays because it's all mental. So we can do what we can do. And my guest will be on Mindset Mondays, Dr. Sheila Smith, certified life coach, cancer thriver, and a living legend in her own life. And that's noon Eastern Time for 30 minutes. Take a break with Health Coach Jody. And then Life's Milkshake Moments, always, always, always here. Thursdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on Traverse TV. I just don't even know how to begin to thank Kim Jacobs. I'm just going to say, I want to thank her for everything. I want to thank her for her transparency, her heart, her giving of her story, of telling her story, because her story that she has told has been medicine for someone else's soul. As my mother said, give others hope, Jody, hope that you have given me. If you have felt that hope, pass it on. Pass that random act of kindness on through your own healing, through your opportunity to receive your faith into your personal life, to come in positivity and empowerment, and then to go out in that empowerment to change the world. Just remember that health is not something you do. It is what you become. A long life's journey. Life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely. And even through adversity, and even through the times that may knock you down, as Les Brown says, if you can get up, you can go up. And Kim Jacobs has certainly done that as well. Frankly, Kim, you are a one-of-a-kind woman. I am absolutely just astonished at you. I am astonished what you've done in your life, but I am grateful that you've come into mine. So as I always say, that life is like that milkshake, I'm just going to say it one more time. But when you realize that you choose those ingredients wisely, especially because Kim did it in her spiritual life and she's done it in her emotional life, that milkshake will be oh so sweet. Take Kim's story, pass it on to another. Let's keep Gabe's heart beating. And until next Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern, now on local CBS affiliate in Orlando, Channel 11, and Traverse TV. This is me, Dr. J, saying, have a healthy day